Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Black and Gold Happy Hour Sports Talk, the tri-state area's home for sports talk and fun. I'm Mike Florak with our engineer, as always, Dan Vogel. I've got a very special guest, Mike Mahalik, here with me today, and we're going to talk a little bit about Mike and his football playing career, former Pitt football player with the big game coming up this week. We're going to talk, as usual, about the Steelers, Pirates, Penguins, a little bit about high school football. The big Pitt Notre Dame game coming up this weekend is the big story in the tri-state area, and of course a little bit of a sermon on recruiting at the end. But Mike Mahalik, former football player, was a member of the Steubenville Catholic Central State Championship team in 1971. Everybody in this area is still very proud of that. Called them one of the best high school football teams ever. Mike went on and played at Pitt for a couple years, has lived in this area, devoted his life after that to service and coaching. He was one of my coaches when I first started my high school football career, and great to have him with us. But you're also a Pirate fan.
Oh yeah, definitely. Love the Pirates.
Big
love
Pirate
the Steelers.
Yeah.
Love the Penguins.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's in our blood now.
That's the way it is.
Yes, sir. And what are your thoughts about the big news? Paul Skeens winning the Cy Young this
Oh, I think it's
week.
tremendous, and I think there's a lot more of those to come. I think he's going to win 3 or 4 of them at least, and I think it's up to ownership up there to do something to at least make an attempt to sign him long term, or at least get a couple more years added on before he moves on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, make an effort. They've got a great number one bona fide guy, possibly the best pitcher in Pirates history. A chance to be. They have to make an effort to sign him, but now I think they need to be focused on the short term. I think winning the Cy Young gives them a little bit of cachet. Hopefully it pushes them a little bit to say we do really have some special things here. Some people are standing up, taking notice, and there's a list of about 20 or so good position players that are free agents out there this year. Tucker and Bichette, some of those other guys. You don't know who the Pirates are going to be able to go after, who they're going to be able to afford, but they definitely have to make a move and try to sign some hitting.
No question. If they could just sign two professional hitters,
yes.
I think that they could improve their wins by 15 to 20 games.
Yes.
They need to find 2 professional hitters in the middle of that lineup, which will make them a much better team.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the pitching's there. They have all those arms. And we've talked about it a number of times here when we've had Greg Brown with us, and hopefully we'll have Greg back on the show soon. But the good thing is with the division the way it is, there's no clear-cut favorite. You've seen Milwaukee year after year as a similar size market, if not smaller, make a run every single year. They've been really, really good under the direction of their front office people. And, of course, Pat Murphy winning Manager of the Year for the second consecutive year. Congratulations to Murph. I know, I've had a lot of mutual friends throughout the time in baseball with Murph. They all talk about what a great guy he is and what a super coach he is, just a devoted baseball guy, worked his way up through the ranks. He was the head coach at Notre Dame, who we'll be talking about a little bit more as we go forward. But we'll look forward to the Pirates hopefully making some moves. Now's the season. We got to get hot. We got to open up the wallet a little bit and hopefully make a move and get some good hitters in here to back up this good pitching. Also, in the news, and we've been following this, and we hope to have our good friend Phil Bork on again soon. The Penguins are off to a really, really good start. They're in Sweden right now, and I believe they may be playing the Nashville Predators right now as we speak. They have a little 2-game series over across the pond, and they're off to a tremendous start. Sidney Crosby, of course, is just good old Sidney Crosby playing his butt off.
Oh,
who else, Mike, can you think of that's challenged Father Time like this in the sporting world?
It's amazing. I mean, and he's playing like a young man. It's just amazing what he's doing this year.
Yeah.
I hope it continues. I mean,
yes.
Father Time can catch up at any
Father
point.
Time's undefeated
but,
right now.
He's really playing great now.
As we talk, and Evgeny Malkin has been awesome. talking about some of the younger guys are talking about the leadership he's provided. They've had better goaltending, and now they call it Murashov. And Murashov, everybody's all very excited about. To me, the big news is Dan Muse and the way that he's got the Penguins to buy in. Some of the guys have been there for a while. Erik Karlsson's playing tremendous by most accounts.
Malkin, too.
Malkin has played unbelievable.
Unreal.
Yeah, and he seems like he's got something to prove. He's got a chip on his shoulder. So these guys are playing like bona fide, 1 and 2 lines, bona fide 1 and 2 defensive pairings that plug in a few holes here and there. And they may make a run. Who knows? This would be so exciting and really tough to find a bigger story in sports than 3 guys like Letang and Malkin and Crosby who are approaching 40 years old that are going to make a run to the playoffs. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Excuse me, as we move forward. Then we have our Steelers to talk about. Who's going to show up this week?
I don't know.
Play the Bengals.
It seems to be a rotation. It seems like one good game, then one good game, then a bad game. So hopefully we get the good game this week. That's what I'm hoping. The Bengals are bad. I mean, they really are. The Steelers should be able to score in the mid-30s. If they score in the 30s, if our defense plays, they should win the game.
Thoughts on Aaron Rodgers so far, Mike? I mean, you not only played at a very high level, you coached also for a long time. What are your thoughts about Aaron Rodgers?
I think Aaron Rodgers is playing very well. But again, the age factor is a concern, I believe. Up to this point in the season, he's been able to remain healthy. And as a result, he's played well. But you can see that he doesn't want to take those hits anymore. He does not want to be hit.
Yeah. And none of us do. But when you get to be older, they hurt a lot more. There were 3 things I was concerned about with Aaron Rodgers coming in. Number one, does he still have his fastball? He proved that. He threw a 70-yard ball in the end zone on that one game. He still can throw the ball. He still knows offenses and those kind of things. The second thing is, will that body hold up at 40? He's going to be 42 here in a couple of weeks. He suffered a non-contact injury that ended his season just a couple of years ago with the Jets. It doesn't need to be any a lack of protection that's going to necessitate him going down with another injury like that. And the third thing, as you brought up, was the protection. Is he going to? How many times is he going to get hit? How many of those hits can he take? But he has not been a disappointment. One of the things that's been a big disappointment to me is the way that the defense has continued to play, continued to get gashed for big totals, giving up rushing yards, and those kind of things. What are some of the things they might be able to do, Mike? I mean, in your eyes, as far as defensively, to make some adjustments?
I'm not sure that the defense has been as bad as it appears.
Okay.
And the reason I think that is the Steelers have really not controlled the ball well at all on offense this year.
Yep.
They have been able to score points, and they've scored a lot of points off of turnovers. And the defense has definitely not met expectations. But I'm not sure they're as bad as they appear to be at times.
Yeah.
A couple games, yes, but I think they're coming around. I think the defense is playing better, and if the offense can control the ball a little more, maybe run the ball a little more. They really haven't run the ball a lot.
No.
And they've got a pretty good back.
Yes.
I mean,
good 1-2 punch.
Yeah. 15 touches a game is not enough.
Yeah.
They need to up that and run the ball a little bit more, and I think that will help the defense.
Yeah, Jaylen Warren has definitely carried the load and done it well, and they signed him to an extension, so they're very happy with them. People are talking about more production out of the wide receivers, but that feeds into being able to control the ball. If you can run the ball, then that's going to open up the passing game a little bit more. So it all starts, to me, and you have much more football knowledge than I do. The game of football is still won and lost at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, it sure is.
Scrimmage, you have a chance.
I mean, that offensive line has got to protect Rodgers, and clearly the Steelers' defensive line has got to improve and play better as well. But that's where you win football games, and I don't care what level you're playing football at. backs and quarterbacks are only as good as that line in front of them. And a secondary will be beat by a good quarterback every time if there's not pressure on the quarterback. Yes. So those things are important.
Right. Good points. And speaking of any level, switching gears now a little bit to the high school playoffs. And there's two teams right now on the Ohio side that are still alive, and that's Barnesville. And, of course, Steubenville has to go into Licking Valley. I don't know much about Licking Valley other than they're 11-0. So Big Red's going to have to be at their top of their game. Have you seen Big Red at all this year, Mike?
I have, and I think Big Red has really improved. Yeah. And I think they're a much better team now. And I think those opening two games made them a better team. And Coach Sokoch. I mean, let's
sure. Oh, honest. Absolutely. Reno's the man.
Yeah, Reno didn't like losing those first two games. No. And I'm sure that motivated him, which motivated the kids. Yeah. And I think they've done a great job. And I like their chances this week. I think they have a real good shot this week. From there, things get pretty tough. But I like their chances.
Yeah, they're you never count Reno out. He thrives on that underdog, us against the world mentality. Kids love to play for him. The guys come back. You were in high school, I think, the same time as he was, or
after
was he out? He was just out after you. And of course, one of your teammates on that great state championship team was his brother Raymond. And we just know you never count Reno out. He thrives on those situations where people aren't saying that they're the favorites. He's a great motivator, great football tactician, surrounds himself with terrific assistant coaches, and the kids buy in. It's been a marvel to see the way Steubenville football has just continued to be at the top of the rankings throughout the years in the state of Ohio.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so we wish them well. There's several teams that are alive on the obviously this is the beginning of the season for the West Virginia State High School playoffs. So we wish all those teams well. We'll catch up with that a little bit more hopefully next week as we continue to go on. But to me, the big news this week is the Pitt Notre Dame game. I mean, we got game day coming to Pittsburgh, not for anything Steeler related, not for anything for any of the high school playoffs or anything like that. It's the Pitt Panthers have kind of shocked the world here with a 7-2 record. A little bit of a downer losing to WVU, but that's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. Huge game with them hosting Notre Dame. Notre Dame also has 2 losses. Absolute must win for Notre Dame. 3 losses is going to be tough to get them into the playoffs. Pitt could still lose this game and find themselves into that playoff if they would run the table in their last couple ACC games. But Mike, former football player at Pitt, how do you see this game, progressing?
I really see this game coming down to Pitt's defensive line and linebackers being able to control the run. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be essential. And Notre Dame obviously probably has more highly recruited people in the line positions as Pitt. Pitt plays using quickness. Their defensive line and their linebackers are very quick. They're not the biggest guys in the world, but they've got to hold up against that big Notre Dame offensive line to give Pitt a chance to win this game. If they can do that, I think Pitt can score. I think the young quarterback is really doing a great job. If Reed is back in the backfield, and his backup Turner is a pretty good player as well. There's good receivers in Kenny Johnson and Poppy Williams. I think Pitt can score, and I think they can score a good bit on Notre Dame. It's a matter of whether they can withstand the running attack, and Love is a load.
He's tough, and they have a second guy. They have Price also. He's tough.
I mean, Love, I think, is one of the best backs,
no doubt,
in the country, if not the best back in the country. Yeah. And I'd love to see him in a Steeler uniform next year.
That would be awesome. There's a lot of guys I'd like to see in a Steeler uniform next year, but I think this is going to be a terrific game. I know that Mason Heinschel, the young quarterback that you referenced from Pitt, He's a graduate of Oregon Clay in Toledo. I was very fortunate to have a couple great guys play for me at Youngstown State from Oregon Clay. Jim Phillips was an awesome infielder and outfielder for us. And he was 1 year, he was the Youngstown State Male Athlete of the Year, had a terrific career there. And he was able to help us get Justin Thomas, who was a left-handed pitcher for us, wound up his career with many, many records. Actually played for the Pirates for a short stint, was in their system. Also played for the Mariners. And in 1 year, played for both the Yankees and the Red Sox. So there's not too many guys who can say that, but
sure.
I know that Oregon Clay community pretty well. They played under a great guy named Carl Knierim, who was an outstanding player himself at Kent State University. But it's a very tight-knit group there in Clay, and there's a great article, I sent it to you, about how Mason Heinzel was very well-grounded, still honors one of his elementary school teammates who was killed in a tragic bicycle accident at age 13, I believe. And just a really good article, if you guys could check it out, on the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, that was in the Post-Gazette Thursday, I believe, on Mason Heinzel, the Pitt quarterback. It's a really moving article about what a well-grounded, just a good human being he is. And he's taken these last 6 games, he's taken the reins and took them from a guy who was pretty highly thought of as Pitt's quarterback. Yeah. And you got to give Pat Narduzzi a lot of credit and the Pitt coaching staff for saying, we're going to run this freshman in here and see what he can do, because he is a true freshman, and it's tough to be able to do that. But he's made the adjustment, and he's going to be fun to watch. Now, hopefully, Pitt can keep him there after a while. But it was also in that article, Mike, I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but it talked about how some of the bigger schools had come in after he had burbled to Pitt. And he said, no, you know what, I'm sticking with Pitt. Wow. I gave him my word, and that's very honorable. We're going to talk about that a little bit at the end of the show. But the big rivalry at Notre Dame has it's a really good history between Pitt and Notre Dame. You were very blessed to be a part of that. So brag about Mike here. He had all the awards, records at our high school. Was a fantastic running back. He and Dave Tuttle formed the best talk about 1-2 punches in the backfield for the Catholic Central Crusaders during those late 60s, early 70s years. Of course, brought home the state title in 71. And then you decide, obviously at size, speed, you had the whole package back then, and you decide to make your verb and further your career at Pitt. Talk to us about how that went, Mike.
Pitt was a place I just felt comfortable. I mean, I was recruited. My final 3 choices were Notre Dame, Pitt, and Duke. And it came down to comfort for me, where I felt real comfortable. And there was a lot of Western PA kids, Youngstown kids, and kids from our area. Even there was another Central kid, Lou Julian, that was at Pitt. And a big red kid, Gary Patterson, was at Pitt, and a kid from Brook, Danny Smith. So when I visited Pitt, it came down to the comfort zone. Plus, my teammate Tom Perko and I had pretty much decided we were going to go to school together, and some schools offered me and didn't offer Tom. Pitt was interested in both of us. So it was a place that both of us could go. If I would have went to Notre Dame, I'd have went on my own. If I'd have went to Duke, I'd have went on my own. And Tom and I had kind of made an agreement that we were going to go together. So that's how I ended up at Pitt.
That's a great story.
I loved it. I loved Pitt, good school. Didn't work out for me football-wise. Injuries ended my career, and I got hurt in a spring game freshman year.
Which would have been the fall of – that would have been the spring of 72, correct?
Right, when Johnny Majors first came in.
Okay.
I had Johnny Majors had recruited me from Iowa State as well, so he was familiar with me. But a lot of people don't know the story. When Johnny Majors came in, him and Jackie Sherrill kind of wanted to get rid of the dead weight, I guess is the best way to put it. So at the end of
your guys are.
At the end of winter workouts that year, there was 34 of us left. And that's how many kids carried over and survived the the winter workout program.
Wow.
From
Out of how many?
approximately 100.
Wow.
So we were the survivors, and Coach Majors recruited 70 kids that next year, scholarship kids, and brought in probably another 10 to 15 walk-ons that didn't play like walk-ons, and that's how the national championship team was built. And they did a super job. Coach Majors was a wonderful coach. He had a great staff. I mean, Jackie Sherrill was probably the best defensive coordinator in college football back in those days, and then went on to become a great head coach. He had a wonderful staff. We had great teammates. You know, the 34 of us, it's kind of funny because I was looking at my calendar at home. They had a big calendar with all the Pitt stuff on it. And the 34 of us that were left, I was hurt and really never played again. Tried to play again that fall, re-tore my knee up.
That would have been the fall of 72.
73. The fall of
73.
Yeah. And of course, I tried to come back from an anterior cruciate ligament operation after 3 months. They didn't know back then that you needed to take a year off for rehab, and I just ripped it all back up.
Yeah.
But the 34 guys that survived that, really it was 33 because I was injured and never played a game. So it's kind of remarkable. But those 33 guys actually became the core of building that championship team. I mean, I'm talking guys like Dave Wanstead, Dave Blandino, Janicek, our fullback. He was from Gilbert Academy in Cleveland. A lot of Dave Janison, a lot of good football players. It became the core building block for that championship team.
It took a little while.
Took a while.
There. But Majors had a plan, and in that 4-year plan, 33 guys survived. 33 is a big number because a guy that came in wore number 33. Talk about him for a little bit. He sure did.
Tony Dorsett came in. And I do want to, before I forget, my good buddy Tom Perko was a huge part of that. He was a 4-year letterman. Tom is deceased. He was killed in an automobile accident. Played a year in the NFL, and then went to Canada and played a couple years. Tremendous player. But Tony Dorsett, in my opinion, and I'm biased because I'm a Pitt guy. I think he was the greatest college football player ever. I believe that.
That's hard to dispute.
And you know, in 1975, the Heisman Trophy went to Archie Griffin, and Archie Griffin was a tremendous football player. I'm not taking anything away from Archie; he was tremendous. But I believe with my whole heart and soul that Tony should have won the Heisman in 75 and 76, and he should have been the 2-time Heisman winner. But the Ohio State, you know, had the machine pushing Archie all year. Tony kind of came out of nowhere in that Heisman race. And but that's all history. But Tony Dorsett was the fastest guy I've ever seen in my life. I mean, that's all I can say. And I mean, I could remember running 40-yard dashes against him, and I was pretty fast.
There weren't too many guys that were looking at their heels.
I would lose by 3-4 yards in a 40-yard dash. So he was fast.
Yeah.
So he was a fun guy. And he was a great guy. Tony Dorsett was a nice guy, and he was a good guy. Never in any trouble throughout his college or professional career. Just you know, he's a classy guy.
You talked about that 75 season, and in the background here, and this is my black and gold war room here. You might be able to see the televisions playing the replay of the 1975 50 years. This is going to be 50 years to the date.
Right.
Your man, Tony Dorsett, had a huge game maybe the best of his career under the brightest lights.
Maybe the best game ever played.
Talk about that day, Mike.
It was amazing. And I was actually sitting in the stands watching it because my wife and father-in-law had come up, and I went up in the stands. I actually sat
so you didn't stay on the side.
I didn't even stay on the side. I was sitting on in the stands watching the game just like everybody else. And there was a couple runs he made in that game where, like we were talking earlier, it seemed like he almost went backwards on his cuts. He was the greatest cutter in football history. Even in the NFL, there may have been a few backs better than Tony Dorsett in the NFL. There wasn't a back that could cut like Tony Dorsett.
Absolutely.
Without losing any speed. I mean, he was just tremendous that way.
Yeah.
But that game was just unbelievable. It was like a 60-yard run and a 70-yard run, I think 8 minutes into the game against Notre Dame, who was a great,
they
very
were
good
ranked
football.
number 9, about where they are now.
Yeah, about the same situation. I'm hoping Reed can do that a little bit on Saturday too. But it was something special to see. And I'm a big Notre Dame fan, believe it or not. I love Notre Dame. I mean, this is a tough game for me in the sense that I want Pitt to win the game, but I hate to see Notre Dame get knocked out of the playoff chase because I'm a big Notre Dame fan. Yeah. I'm a Catholic education guy, and
yes, sir.
I'm a big fan of Notre Dame. I think they're tremendous. I think they got a great coach. If I was running the team in the NFL, that'd be my man. That's who I'd be going after.
I wouldn't mind seeing him in the black and gold soon.
Man, he's a good coach.
Yeah.
But that's my story on Tony Dorsett. And there's a lot of Steubenville people that like to say, well, you'd have never heard of Tony Dorsett if Mike Mahalik wouldn't have been hurt.
Been a wide receiver.
And because I had won the starting tailback job in the spring that year. But believe me, I would have been, and this is the other thing a lot of people don't realize. Pitt ran the veer offense back, and there was 2 backs in the backfield. Elliot Walker was
a real good player.
Super running mate with Tony Dorsett.
Decent career in the
NFL. Yeah. So those guys were good football players, both of them.
Yeah.
So.
And you played with a lot of other really, really good players too. Some of the guys we
talked about. A lot of NFL players.
Randy Holloway. Some of those guys. Matt Cavanaugh was is still, I believe, a quarterback coach in the NFL.
I think he's done now, but he's a young challenge. And he was a super quarterback.
Yeah, really good quarterback.
Him and Bobby Haygood bounced back and forth in that starting job. Haygood would get hurt, and Cavanaugh would play, and then it was there was the 2 of them during those later years after I was hurt that played that position, and they were both good. And Matt Cavanaugh was a really good quarterback, and had a long, I think 13, 14 years, most of the time as a backup in the NFL, but man, he was the best. He was the best backup. That's why he stuck around so long.
Darn good living he made for himself and playing and coaching in the NFL, and it all started, of course, at Youngstown. I believe he was a Cheney grad.
Youngstown Cheney.
Youngstown Cheney, along with one of my co-workers later on in life, Jerry Olsavsky, who was wound up being Pitt's all-time leading tackler after he finished his football career, but a lot of ties to Pitt in the tri-state area, across the border over in Ohio. A lot of great guys that you played with, and you've got great memories. So I'm sure you're looking forward to this big matchup. Tomorrow is going to be prime time. All the boys are going to be in town. Herb Street and their big show, McAfee. They'll all be shining the bright lights on Pitt and Notre Dame. So stay tuned for that, and we'll talk a little bit about that next week. And we want to finish today just talking a little bit about that recruiting game, as I always try to do. And I think one of the things that people are going to get caught up in now is that there's something to think about here, because it seems anymore that your word doesn't mean anything. You can give a verbal to one school and move on to another. Mason Heinzel, we brought his name up as Pitt's quarterback, starting as a freshman here. Committed to Pitt, I believe, in his junior year maybe, and had a great senior year at Oregon Clay. And some other bigger schools came along. I believe Michigan, who's right there, he's right in Michigan's backyard in that northern border, came along and made him an offer, and he said, "No, I'm going to Pitt. This is where I'm committed to," and that's something that you're going to have to understand as you are moving along through the recruiting process. Anybody who wants to further themselves, you're going to have to understand that when you tell someone you're going somewhere and you make your verbal commitment, if you haven't signed any papers, in your mind, you're going to have to reconcile the fact that I told these coaches, I told this university, I told my fellow recruits, this is who I'm going to sweat and bleed and cry with for the next several years. It's a little different now, but it's something that has to be thought about. And before you put all of your eggs in that basket and you want to go down that road with this school, it's something to think about. Somebody else may come along. My personal feeling, you shared a little bit about your experiences, Mike, with some of the big schools that recruited you. My personal feeling is that you have to be able to understand what you want to do these next few years. And if that's where you have an opportunity somewhere, go with it and stick with it, because there's originally somebody who really saw something in you early on. They want to put an investment in your future, and they want to say, hey, we really think you can be an important part of your program. What are your thoughts about that, the way the recruiting game is now?
I think Heinz is a perfect example of he made a commitment to Pitt, and it's showing through his play. That commitment is carried over to he's obviously a tremendous leader.
Yes.
He's walked in as an 18-year-old kid, and some of the guys he's playing with are 23, 24 years old. And they're following him. Yes. And they're saying it. So that commitment that he made to Pitt has carried over into his life, and it just must be the type of person he is. Yeah. And, for a young kid today that's looking to be recruited, you want to find a place. You want to go to school where you're comfortable, where you'll enjoy friendships and make good friends. And yeah, the money's important today. If you're a good enough athlete to go to a major Division I Power 4 conference school, go get the money, but still find a school that's going to be where you're going to be happy.
Sure. The
money isn't going to make any difference if you're not happy.
Right.
So that would be my point to kids today. You can't forget about the money. I'm not telling them to do that, but you still got to be happy with your choice and the people who you're going to play for.
Yeah, and I'm hearing a lot of stories from some of my friends in the coaching ranks that there are guys at mid-majors or smaller. They have kids that are making a jump for $20,000, and they're playing and starting for several years at the school that they're at, comfortable, a lot of friendships, good relationships with the coaches, academically everything's going well, and then they move on for the bigger name, and it just doesn't work out because now they're behind several other guys, not even getting a chance to play. So that's something they have to keep in mind, shouldn't they?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think I would ever make a jump for $20,000 if you're happy where you're at, and especially if you're a starter and you're enjoying your playing time, you're enjoying your life at that school. It's different for some of these young guys that are really excelling and they're making them a large offer to go into a Power 4 conference. That's a different story.
Sure.
It's hard to pass up large money, but when you're talking money of that amounts, I would think long and hard for sure, because when you get into the Power 4 conferences today, you're really talking exceptional football players, and it's so different today even than back when I played. I mean, it's just totally different. You're talking guys that are fully developed.
Right.
They've been on weight programs their whole lives.
In every sport.
They've had
not just football.
Personal
this
coaches.
Football.
Yeah, every sport. Yeah. They've had personal coaches. Those are all things that we didn't experience.
Right.
And today, every kid that plays and that's a good athlete has a personal coach. They do. It's just the way it is.
Right.
And they're better. They're stronger. They're faster. So if you're not recruited into that originally, you better make sure that you have that skill set that's needed to play at that Power 4 level.
Yeah, that's a great point. Great advice. We give it for free here. We hope you'll tune in the future. Like us, follow us on Facebook. Please do that. I want to give a shout out to some of our previous sponsors. The Berg Bus. We're going to get back with Nick and the boys at some point, aren't we, Dan? We'll be back with the Berg Bus, the Spot Bar, Ed Gahn, Tony Rinaldi. Thank you so much for your guys' support in the past. And Basil's, we had a great time over there too. Just a lot of fun, and all the other places that we've been and we've been to. We'll look forward to visiting them again in the future. And please, if you're interested, we'll come and do the show and feature your business. We're happy to, anywhere in the tri-state area we'll go to do our show. But we'll really enjoy being with you. We'll look forward to being back next week soon. Hopefully Greg Brown, Phil Bork, one of those guys will join us. Howard Carnell will be able to join us too next week. But I want to say thanks to Dan. Thanks to Mike for being here. Always good to spend time with you, my friend.
A lot of fun.
You were, we always looked up to you. We're so glad to still have you here in the Valley and helping people and doing the great things that you do. And it's great to talk about the recruiting game because people need that advice. We hope you pay attention to some of this at the end of the program because it's going to be your life. You have to think about it. Other than deciding whether or not you're going to follow God or who you marry, that's the third most important decision you ever make in your life. So take that into consideration. That it's very, very important. You need to listen to different people, have different thoughts, but follow the dreams that God puts in your heart, and you won't go wrong. Okay, you do that, and you'll be fine. So we'll look forward to continuing to doing these things and talking about these topics as we move forward on Black and Gold Happy Hour Sports Talk. Thanks for joining us.